G'day there guys, it's your Aussie Hubby Markee, back at it again with another episode of r/Am I the A-hole? Now with that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie, and get ready to tell me who you think the A-hole is in all of these stories. Posted by user FriendlyParsnip2, titled, Am I the A-hole for telling my sister to stop telling people that she has my illness to gain sympathy for being overweight? I, 22 female, have an older sister, 25 female. My sister is very sensitive about everything. When we were young, if I made the smallest comment like, I prefer pink over blue, it would make her cry because she thought I was aiming at her by saying it. My parents would always ask me to apologize to her since she's sensitive and I'm emotionally stronger than her. My parents never controlled my sister's diet growing up, letting her have what she wants since they found it too difficult to control her. I was skinny as a stick when I was a kid, so even though my family has a long history of thyroid disease, my parents didn't think there was an issue with me. However, my sister has been overweight the majority of her life, so my parents thought she would be the one with the thyroid issues. They took us to an endocrinologist when I was 10. I got a diagnosis for Hashimoto's thyroiditis, while my sister didn't, and instead got told to exercise and watch her diet. I got hypothyroidism due to Hashimoto's, and have been on medication ever since. My sister and I moved back in with our parents due to what's happening these days. I leave my medication in a cabinet in the kitchen, so I know I won't take it unless I have to actually get out of bed to do so. Apparently, I left a box before I moved out of my parents' house when I was a teen, and one of her friends saw it while they were over and asked if it was hers. My sister told them that it was, and that's why she was overweight. The box has euthyrox written on it in big bold letters, with a picture of thyroid glands next to it. So yeah, pretty obvious it was meant for a thyroid condition. She's held up this farce for almost 4 years. I only figured it out when I saw her take a box of it out of my bag one day. I confronted her on it, and she starts crying, telling me that she just didn't want anyone to be mean to her because she's fat. She also says that it's not fair that the one with the normal weight gets the thyroid disease. I'm just staring at her, gobsmacked. She is complaining that she doesn't have an autoimmune condition. I tell her to knock it off, and that she can't lie to get sympathy from people. My parents talk to me later, and they say that I was too harsh calling her a liar, and she probably needs a therapist or something. And the classic, I should apologize since I'm more mature. They even tell me that they were hoping that she was the one with the thyroid issues as a child, so that they could justify her weight gain. I ask them, so you wanted your daughter to be sick instead of admitting that it was your fault because you bought her McDonald's whenever she wanted it, and never made her exercise? Now they're mad at me too. Definitely NTA, and what the hell did I just read? Your sister is jealous of your thyroid disease because it would justify her being overweight? Oh yeah, this is some out-of-body type experience crap for me too. Point out that a thyroid condition doesn't give you a pass for being overweight. The vast majority of people with a thyroid condition that are overweight would be overweight without it. It can make it more difficult, yeah, but it's not a guarantee. Not necessarily. I gained a ridiculous amount of weight by living the same lifestyle I did before diagnosis, 30 plus pounds, and as soon as my meds were properly evened out, all the weight just fell off. It's definitely a side effect, although the treatment typically helps. Not the a-hole. Your sister sounds like a self-absorbed narcissist, who's pushing her unwillingness to get into shape and lose some weight onto you. She is toxic and manipulative, and sounds like the parents enabled this behavior 100%. Enablement and disillusionment. Not the a-hole. You're absolutely right here. I can't believe she'd actually try to steal your meds from you. She needs to see a therapist to deal with the hypersensitivity, and your parents can't continue to encourage and reinforce it, which sounds like they've done so since childhood. Take care. I hope everything works out. I hope she wasn't stealing them to take them, but rather to make a social media post or something. Still not right, but at least that's just obnoxious and not potentially dangerous to OP. Yeah, I definitely agree with everyone's assumptions here. NTA, definitely not the a-hole. So dangerous to be putting her in that situation if you are taking the medications, and you're just being an a-hole in general if you're pushing it. I want to get thyroid disease, I want a justification. No, you got a mental illness, buddy. Posted by user TDog945, titled, Am I the a-hole? Suing my neighbor after she sprayed weedicide on my lawn. Caught my neighbor spraying weedicide on my lawn in my fenced-in backyard because she said she was sick of all the weeds and thought she was doing me a solid. 1. I like dandelions. They're good for the bees. 2. I have pet rabbits, dogs, cats, and a tortoise that I like to roam the yard, and all of them eat or at least nibble and lick the grass, so it's literally poisoning my pets. So anyway, I kick her the hell out and take all my pets inside. Now, 2 of my rabbits are dead and another is in critical condition. I'll never be able to let my pets outside again to eat the grass because weedicides take forever to go away because it can sit in soil for who knows how long, and I'm worried that the dogs and cats might end up having a reaction too since they also nibble the grass. Call me overprotective or overcautious, I don't care. I love my animals. So I'm suing her for damage to my property because it is now unusable for my animals, veterinary bills, and emotional damage due to the death of my 2 rabbits. I'm also trying to get the cops to pursue a case of animal abuse, or at minimum criminal damage, because she did basically poison my animals, but I doubt anything will come from it because I have to prove ill intent, but they are pursuing her for criminal trespass. She's a Karen. I think she deserves it for thinking she had any right to be on my property at all, and especially because it's killed my pets. And now I don't know what to do about my lawn, because I'm not risking another animal's life by letting them out, or at least unsupervised for at least a year. However, my parents and my girlfriend think I'm being unnecessarily cruel because it was an accident, and she thought she was just being a good neighbor, and that I'm making it to be a bigger deal than it is, and should just ask for her to pay my vet bills. Edit. Info. She has asked me about the weeds before. I don't remember it verbatim. Basically, the conversation was along the lines of, Hey, I see you have a lot of dandelions and weeds. Have you noticed that too? Yep, I enjoy the look of a natural lawn. Something about my new car. The end. Since she has a kid that she always asks can come over to play with my rabbits, I assumed she knew that they ate them if she was looking over my fence that often, and she'd noticed the dandelions were only ever flowering in 1/4 of the lawn at a time, because my rabbits got cycled in a way that most of the lawn was mostly weed-free, while the part they couldn't get to that week would be sprouting. Edit again, thanks for the messages, guys. I'm taking the advice and getting a security camera and a padlock for the fence. Also, I am in fact getting a necropsy done. Edit. I have talked to her, told her that my rabbits died after the fact and there was staining on their pen. She said, it's weedicide, not pesticide, they were probably just sick. Edit. Last edit, this is blowing up too much, I gotta walk away, sorry if I didn't answer your question. But my rabbits were actually outside when she did this and there was a stain on their pen. I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure they got a direct spray. Oh my, that just makes it so much worse. What the hell? I was gonna say before, like, maybe she doesn't know. That's murder. At that point, if they got directly sprayed, that's murder. She murdered those animals. As if that spray wasn't there before, and there's a direct one on the animals. She's the a-hole in this situation. She's the a-hole. Take her to court, drag her to whatever court it takes. That's messed up. No, you can't just spray rabbits with weedicide and think, oh yeah, it's cool, yeah, they're just gonna get rid of the weeds? Oh, this has actually got me mad. I'm sorry, I'm gonna read the responses now. Not the a-hole. Even without all of your reasoning, it's illegal for her to do that, period. I'm sorry that it did in fact result in damages. Hopefully you will get compensated for it. Good luck, you're totally justified in suing her. She practically murdered his pets. She has to be stupid if she didn't know how harmful that stuff is. Not the a-hole. Literally the first thing I thought was he should sue, so I was glad to read that he did. I really hope you win your case, OP. I know how hard it is to lose a pet, especially one you've had for a long time. Not the a-hole. She needs to have actual consequences, not namby-pamby, she meant well, BS that lets her get away with everything. She didn't mean well. She decided that your yard offended her sensibilities, so she was perfectly in the right to trespass and spray poison around someone else's property. Imagine if someone sprayed poison onto your dog or cat directly and killed it, and then everyone around you was like, yo, Ben, it's just a consequence of the poison on the yard. Don't worry, she meant well. She was just trying to help your yard out. You wouldn't be happy about it, that's for sure. She didn't even mean well. If she meant well, that would be something like her saying, oh, I noticed those weeds. I have some weedicide. Let me know if you'd like me to do a pass through your yard too. Or, if I noticed all those dandelions, I have a great way to get rid of them if you'd like. Offer to be a good neighbor, but accept the response you get. She didn't mean well. She wasn't doing it to be kind. She did it because she thought her neighbor's yard was an eyesore and wanted it fixed. If she really meant well, she'd apologize for what happened, not double down. I don't know how anyone in OP's life could defend this lady at all. What makes me even more mad is the edit. She doesn't even sound sorry. They were probably just sick. Like, the zero remorse is exactly why people like this need to be punished. Legit jail time. Send her to jail. 2 or 3 years, I don't care. Murder. Get her in jail. Not the a-hole. My neighbor did this last year and got reported to the HOA because the yard she sprayed, under the cover of darkness so she knew it was wrong, belongs to a family with very young children. I'm sorry about your rabbits, and you need to know that it's not your fault and you are a good owner. Guys, is this the one case where HOAs do right? Jesus. How do people internally justify this to themselves? No matter what their yard looked like, I wouldn't dream of saying boo, let alone doing something. They don't want dandelions because they are impossible to get rid of once started and the seeds blow everywhere. And those people believe the whole world should accommodate them. They are usually the same a-holes that ask you not to park on the street in front of their house because they want their guests to have a place to park. I hate people who need to have the perfect lawn. So many resources are wasted trying to keep them perfect. It's bad for the environment. I've always said that I'm just going to get some goats who can keep my lawn in a decent shape. I'm not living that mow my lawn life twice a week. Yep, my neighbor's like that. He has a perfect lawn, uses a gas mower, and frequently waters his gardens. When I bought my house, the lawn was a mess, and I can't afford to fix it right now, so it is uneven. About half of it is this clover that flowers a pretty purple flower, and I also have plenty of dandelions. I don't bother watering my garden unless I have planted something new, and all my plants do just fine. And I agree with that. I want my lawn to be like that. I don't care about maintaining it like that to perfection. I want it to look like nature. Jeez, is that wrong to think? Posted by user ThrowRA1287, titled, Am I the a-hole for emasculating my boyfriend? I, 30 female, met this guy, 28 male in January, and he became my boyfriend in February. Come March, the world goes down the drain and we decided to move in together for the time of the pandemic. Everything is great. In the morning, we have this routine where he browses Reddit and gives me highlights. A few weeks ago, he shows me a post where this guy is challenged to an arm wrestling competition by his girlfriend. The guy didn't seem to have any sort of training/workout, whereas his girlfriend did. I commented he might have a surprise. My boyfriend started educating me on biology and how men are stronger than women. I told him there was too many factors to take into consideration to make such a broad comment. I have been doing weightlifting for 2 years, and my boyfriend has never seen a gym in his life. So I used us as an example. That was a big mistake. He got really defensive and condescending, and made comments like, "That's cute." I just let it go. Fast forward to yesterday, he's playing some games with his friends online, and I can clearly hear him talk about me. Well, curiosity killed the cat. At first it's all pretty, and my ego is bursting, but then he says I'm delusional because I think I'm stronger than him. Pause. Seriously? I know I'm weak, but I'm not weaker than a girl. So later, I decide to call him out on his BS. I asked him if he wanted to come work out with me the next day, which was this morning, so he can show me how strong he is. He accepted, and I was happy, because I had been dying to bring him and initiate him to something that I'm passionate about. So this morning, we went to my friend's, 27 male, garage. My region allows up to groups of 10 or less, and we wipe everything. I told him we're going to do deadlifts. It's my favorite exercise, and I was already planning to test my personal best, so it was perfect. My friend was there because he corrects my form, and it's been our Sunday ritual since COVID-19. We started light and slowly worked our way up, doing the same number of reps as the other. Come 185, his form starts to crumble, so we made him go lighter. But 185 really isn't that much for me, so I kept stacking the plates. He looked very supportive and impressed the whole time. I ended up beating my personal best at 265. I was ecstatic and so were they. When we got in the car, he was very silent. I assumed he was just tired. I got home, and that's when he exploded and asked me if I was proud of myself. Apparently, I humiliated him in front of my friend. I apologized. I didn't realize he was feeling that way. He got angry and said it really changed the way he saw me. Like I'm less of a woman now. He stormed to the basement. I started collecting my things, but now I'm wondering if I should have been reading between the lines and stopped at 190 or something, or just dropped it and never suggested we work out together. I knew very well that I was stronger than him, but I just had to prove it to him. Am I the a-hole? Update, I still didn't get a word of him, but since some of you asked, I will make sure to update you when he does. Thank you for the overwhelming response. That was a bit of a rollercoaster day, but it made it easier to know that I'm not completely in the wrong. Lol? This is hilarious, and congrats on your personal best. You don't need a physically stronger man, but you definitely need an emotionally stronger man, because that's when your boyfriend is weak. You shouldn't have apologized for being better at something you work at than he is. That's your only error here. He wanted to talk crap and brag when he didn't deserve it. Don't ever make yourself less to placate the insecurity of anyone, not the a-hole. Better said than my draft reply, and it's sad when people try to rest on the laurels of their group, sex, race, nation, without personal development or excellence, not the a-hole. We won the Super Bowl, hey! If you need a woman to be weaker for you to feel masculine, you were never a real man anyway. Not the a-hole. Opie, get out of this relationship because your boyfriend is immature as hell. Are you really telling me a grown man got upset because his girlfriend lifted more than him? What the actual hell? I finished grabbing my stuff right after I posted this and went back to my friend's house. He doesn't want me to be alone at my apartment. I just haven't had the talk with my soon-to-be ex yet. I'm not even sure he noticed I'm gone. He was still in the basement when I left, and he gets very in the zone when he plays his games. I texted him a few minutes ago to call me when he was ready. I really don't see what he could say to make me change my mind though. Reading everyone's comments has really helped me gain some perspective. Wait, why aren't you allowed to go to your own apartment, especially after such a pathetic tantrum from him? Oh no, I'm allowed to. I'm living with my friend, the one from this morning who has a gym in his garage. My friend doesn't want me to be alone in case my ex tries something stupid. Congratulations, you made the right decision. It's so fulfilling to see someone come to their senses after posting here. So many times you just want to jump through your Reddit screen and drag people kicking and screaming from their relationships on this sub, but never really know how it turned out in the end. Finally, a happy ending. Look, personally, there's not much I can say about this one that hasn't been said already. Yeah, sure, she emasculated him a little bit, but that was his choice to go over there, and he's obviously not mature enough to handle a relationship. Give him some time, make him find another woman, let him realize his mistake, and everyone will move on a better person from this, and I'm glad that she took the steps to make him her ex after that. That's disgusting behavior. So childish. Posted by user, This is a Crazed House. Titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my son and daughter-in-law that they can't have another kid under our roof? My eldest son and his wife got married a few years ago. Initially, they moved out of the state after their wedding for my son's work. Then things went downhill. My daughter-in-law got pregnant and quit her job to be a stay-at-home mum. Shortly after the baby was born, however, my son lost his job as well. Their savings drained quickly, and it was too expensive to live in their state. My wife and I said they could live with us while they got back on their feet, on the condition that they both got jobs. This was 2 years ago, and they've lived with us ever since. Both work, and while they don't pay rent, they cover all their own expenses along with the babies. Recently, however, they told us that they were planning on having a second child. My wife and I said that if they wanted a second child, they had to move out. We love our grandchild, but we don't want another baby in the house. And to me, if they can afford another child, they can afford to move out. They said we can't tell them whether or not they can have another baby. I said they're living in our house. I absolutely can. My wife and I still have 2 other kids living at home. My other son is a single parent as well and has a child 4 who lives here full time. He has no plans of having more kids and is closer to moving out. Would have sooner, but with the shutdown it messes up his search. We can't have another kid around here. Are we being the a-holes here? Not the a-hole. If they can afford another child, they can afford to move out and pay rent and be actual adults. I really can't believe the audacity of considering bringing another life into this world when you aren't completely supporting yourself to begin with. Literally this. If they can financially afford to have another kid, they should be able to financially afford to move out. Don't let them stay in your own home forever. I guess there's not much else to say besides that. A lot of people are just going to say the same things over for this one, and I agree with that. I don't think that you should be bringing another child into this world. What's wrong with them? There's already so many people in that house. You're just going to make even more of a problem for everyone else. Sort your life out, move on, look after yourself and your own child. It's about time. You're 2 adults. You can do this. It's possible. Anyway, guys, I'm going to hand you to outro, Markee. Alright guys, that's all for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to tell me what you thought about it down in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, also don't forget to subscribe. It would really help out with my channel growth. And also, a huge shout out to my channel patrons and members. I just love you guys and thank you for supporting me on this journey. If you guys are new to the channel and you'd like to support me, links are down below for the Patreon, or you can click the join button next to subscribe if you'd like to become a channel member. Alright guys, that's all for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.